Yes, people, welcome back to another episode of the 1894. I'm Dara. I've got Joe with me today. We're doing a Leeds review. It was a poor match, sluggish. We didn't look great. We rotated heavily. It was very poor. Joe, what do you think?
I thought the 11 that we put out there was good enough to beat Leeds. I think it's poor the fact that we haven't managed to beat them this season. A draw and a loss isn't great, especially for a newly promoted side. Although they are mid-table and they're not, they have a good manager and a decent squad. I think Pep definitely had his sights set firmly on the Wednesday match against Dortmund, which is everyone's priority at the minute, seeing as the league is almost over. But there's a few players in there that were disappointing because there were a few players in there that were trying to knock down the door to the first team to try and maybe start on Wednesday, but none of them took the chance, and I think it will be the same team as Wednesday as it was on Tuesday.
Yeah, hopefully, in my opinion, man. I think the people who went out there trying to break into the first team ended up disappointing. Mate, other than Stones, really. Stones was excellent. The rest of the team around them, like Ake had a poor one, Jesus, and the rest of the front three were dreadful. We'll actually show our player ratings on screen now. But yeah, it was just very sluggish. We started off very poor, and Leeds actually got down our left hand side very well. I think that was a mix of Mendy and Ake both being outshone by how fast Rafinha was. But they definitely did, like you said, they went in with one eye on Wednesday, and we got we got torn apart by Leeds. They had two shots. Well, we got torn apart on two occasions. It just so happened to score on the two occasions. It wasn't great. But yeah, we mentioned Joe Stones, but do you think he goes into Dortmund start and then after that?
I see no reason for him not to. I think he was the best player on the pitch.
Yeah.
I think I saw a stat where he's up there with ball entries into the final third, I think it was, this season in games, because if anything was going to come, it seemed like from him, because he was just stepping forward, to the edge of the box. He actually won a couple of fouls as well on the edge of the box. He was, for some reason, he's what was our most dangerous player. So yeah, I see no reason why he shouldn't start. I think also Diaz will come back in after not playing as well. We mentioned Ake. I think he only went with Ake because Laporte was injured and not available. I think had
Yeah.
Laporte been there, we might have still seen Ake, but we definitely would have seen Laporte. Yeah, I just wasn't really good enough all round. Caught us on the break. They did well. Our defence really couldn't have done much more.
Yeah, defensively there wasn't much else we could do, but I just want to bring up the last point of the front three. I thought each one of them were dreadful. Sterling had a chance to score in the first half, and he just passed it out nearly for a throw in. Torres was just nowhere for the whole game until he scored, which seems to be a running trend for Torres. And Jesus again, three of us agree he's poor. He never does. He doesn't do anything when he's called upon unless he's on the wing. He's just not a striker. Joe, what do you think of what do you make of Jesus?
I can't remember who said it. I think it was you who said that all three of them players can play anywhere across the front three. Obviously, Hugh said with varying degrees of success. You think of Torres being able to play off either side, and he's played up front. Jesus the same, and also Sterling. But for some reason, it just wasn't as fluid as we thought it might have been. The plays were very static. They weren't moving. They weren't interchanging between each other. I think they were all pretty poor. Torres scored, but apart from that, he wasn't great. Jesus, I mean, how many times are we saying the same thing? He almost always gets into the right position, but either holds onto the ball or tries to win a foul and doesn't, and sometimes he's just not shooting. Sterling the same. We know Sterling isn't the best at finishing, but he still should be doing a bit better.
Yeah, I think the two of those boys, Sterling and Jesus, are both very confidence-driven players. We don't know much about Torres now because he hasn't got many games. But Sterling and Torres, we've seen Sterling and Jesus, sorry, over the last couple of years, we've seen they're definitely confidence players. And this isn't going to do them any good, nor were the last few games before this. But what can we say? We're going into Champions League now. We're gonna hopefully we'll beat Dortmund if we set up the same way we did last time. I don't see why we won't. But I think we'll wrap it up there anyway. We'll have links to our socials and our Discord in the link below. And yeah, thanks very much. See you later.